Good evening. Welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the programme tonight, after much drama, Priyanka Gandhi, Vadra and Rahul Gandhi are now in Lakhimpur Kheri. They'll be meeting the family of the farmers who were killed in the violence on Sunday. A convoy of vehicles with the son of the Minister of State for Home was on board one of the vehicles which mowed down the farmers. And in the violence that ensued, 4 others were killed. 8 in total died on Sunday. There have been no arrests in the case. The senior Congress leader Sachin Pilot, who remains detained, in fact on his way to Lakhimpur Kheri, joins us in just a few moments from now. But later on this program, huge allegations by the NCP in Mumbai that the drug arrests in Mumbai, including that of the son of Shah Rukh Khan, were part of a conspiracy involving the Narcotics Control Bureau and the BJP. And to prove this, they point to a video of Manish Bhanushali, a BJP office bearer, who appeared to be taking in Arbaz Merchant, one of the accused in the case, into the office of the Narcotics Control Bureau. There's also another picture which went viral on social media, which shows a man who is not in the Narcotics Control Bureau posing with Aryan Khan, Shah Rukh Khan's son. It turns out this man is some sort of a private detective. How were 2 private individuals allowed to be a part of this investigation in the first place? But first, let's go straight across to Sachin Pilot, who remains detained. He's one of the leaders who's not been allowed to go to Lakhimpur Kheri. That's where he was headed. He joins us now. Sachin, thanks for being with us. Why have you been detained? What are the police saying?
So Vishnu, this morning we left Delhi to go to Lakhimpur and Sitapur. And along the way, at every toll booth and every district border, police were stopping us and our vehicles and our workers. But we were allowed to move on slowly. But finally, when we reached Moradabad, here the police stopped the highway completely and the police detained us. And now they brought us here in Moradabad in a guest house. We were told that we can't proceed anymore. They've given us a notice that our proceeding to that district will cause some law and order issues, which I failed to understand because we are abiding by every provision of the law. And our intent really was only to go and give empathy and consolation to people who lost their lives. But the administration certainly wants to show that they are not going to allow any of us to go. And surprisingly, around different delegations of the parties to go today, Rahul ji and Priyanka ji have also gone. But I was stopped quite much before Lakhimpur Kheri in Moradabad.
But that's what's surprising, isn't it? Other leaders, for example, Priyanka Gandhi, Vadra, Rahul Gandhi have been allowed to proceed. In fact, they are in Lakhimpur Kheri now. Why was this massive effort to stop you?
I don't know what the reason could be, because Priyanka ji and Rahul ji both have been allowed to go with 2 of our chief ministers. And we were told by the administration, I saw news reports that they've allowed people to go in small groups, which is fine by us. But I could sense that since we left the border of Delhi and Ghaziabad, and every toll booth there was a checking and cross questioning and almost forcing us not to travel. But here in Moradabad, finally they all clamped down on us, and the entire motorcade was then diverted to a guest house. And the administration has just told me that they believe they've got orders from Lucknow that they must not allow us to proceed. No reason given except for the one that they said that our presence might create more problems, which is very sad because the bloodshed on the streets of Lakhimpur Kheri is very obvious and apparent, and we think people must get justice, not just compensation, but those who have been named in the FIR are roaming around freely, and those who are going to console families have been detained and put under arrest in various sections of IPC.
Sachin, is there any clarity when you will be released?
They haven't said anything. I've just been put here and they, like I said, in a guest house, just said that we can't proceed and no further information is available.
So is it your intention to proceed to Lakhimpur Kheri once you are eventually released?
I do want to go, but I've been told that we will not be allowed to go. Now, how long this will persist, I can't say. But I said that I will follow every provision of the law, even 144 section, less than 4 people can assemble. We were happy to do that. But we just weren't allowed to go. And I have got no word about what next the administration might do.
The fact that the Minister of State, Home's son, is roaming around freely in what is a murder investigation, he is seen to be one of the people who's apparently on one of the vehicles over there. What does that say? That's the allegation. What does that say about the way this investigation is proceeding?
I don't think any investigation will be fruitful if you have people in power still occupying those positions. The accused person named in the FIR is roaming around freely, and those of us who've done nothing wrong are being detained by the police. So I think there is certainly lack of confidence in the ability of the administration to deliver justice. And I think the intent is lacking as well, because they should have actually had a Supreme Court judge given a time-bound investigation period and delivered justice. Now, by brokering peace and hushing up things and giving some money, etc., I don't think that's justice. So I feel that there is certainly something that the government is trying to hide. They're under tremendous pressure. That's why they relented and allowed Rahul Gandhi ji and Priyanka ji to visit the families. After so much pressure from all corners, that's why they relented. I do believe that the government has something to hide. What it is, I can't say. Investigations will reveal all of that. But the sad truth is that some of us have been detained to travel to Uttar Pradesh, Lakhimpur Kheri. It's a free country. As a citizen, we have rights to go. The national highway is not under 144. Even then, we were stopped. An entire contingent of police was deployed to divert us back to the guest house.
But the other issue over here is political detentions. The manner in which Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, for example, was detained. We've seen this in Jammu and Kashmir as well, where political leaders haven't been allowed to travel at all. It seems to be something which has happened elsewhere as well. In fact, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra says that she was not even allowed to meet her legal counsel. Isn't that...
It is illegal, it is unconstitutional. There is no provision of law where you can detain somebody without filing a case, without producing them in front of the magistrate within 24 hours, not getting legal counsel. Every shred of constitutional property was thrown to the winds. And I think detaining her at midnight, what is it that they're so scared of by allowing her to go and meet those people which they've allowed today? I think the UP government has shown lack of courage, and I think her detention was completely illegal. 3 days without reason, being detained. She was not going there to make a speech or to incite violence of any sort. She was trying to calm things down in a violence-struck district. In fact, the UP government should have made the first effort to reach Lakhimpur Kheri. None of them have gone. The CM has not gone. And those who are trying to go to have peace and quiet and condole the families, those people have been arrested, and Priyanka's detention is completely illegal.
But how would you respond to those, Sachin, who say that this is all political opportunism by the Congress party?
I don't see opportunism. I see the conviction and the guts to speak up against a very brute regime in Uttar Pradesh. There are many political parties. I'm sure they're voicing concerns. It's not about the Congress or BJP or the election. The elections have come and gone. You win and you lose. But there is a process of law. There is loss of life. There is blood in the streets of Lakhimpur Kheri, and people are mowed down by a vehicle. Now, who did it and who incited it is a matter of investigation. But this is not just about elections and one party or two parties. This is about a civil society and things like this being completely unacceptable. How can you have the violence that we've seen and no action being taken? I think the faith that people have in the rule of law has taken a beating, and that to my mind is a great concern, a great worry, much more than an election or two.
And finally, Sachin, I must ask you, since we have you, there's obviously a crisis in the Punjab Congress. You've lost a very senior leader in Goa as well, but everything isn't well in the Rajasthan Congress either, it appears. Ashok Gehlot now says that he will be Chief Minister if given the opportunity for 15 to 20 years, if that comes his way. Where does that leave you in the politics of Rajasthan?
Well, I've been working for the party, and so I have been party president, I have been a minister, I'm an MLA right now. I don't want to comment on what other people say. I believe that one must be humble. We must respect the mandate of the people, of the party. I think it perhaps is a bit of an overreach when someone makes a very pronounced judgments. I think we must serve the people, and I think collectively that's what we are trying to do. So I don't want to comment on what some other leader has said, but we're working as a team to make sure that the people of Rajasthan get the government that they deserve. We work very hard to create this government, and we're trying to live up to those promises.
All right, Sachin Pilot, thank you very much for speaking to us. Sachin Pilot speaking to us from detention. He was on his way to Lakhimpur Kheri when near Moradabad. He was actually stopped and taken into detention by the police. Other leaders, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, have been allowed into Lakhimpur Kheri. We should be getting some video of them over there in some time from now. Lots of comments coming in on coup. On this story, Ravindera Kapoor says, politics always hurt in delivering justice at any location, any event or on any occasion. Dipali Sinha says the support from political parties should not be considered as politics. It may help farmers get justice. So different points of view over there, important ones at that. A major controversy has broken out as two individuals, a BJP politician Manish Bhanushali and a private investigator, were actively apparently involved in the raid on a cruise ship in Mumbai and even seen handling the accused. Why would two private individuals, one of them a BJP politician, be seen physically handling the accused in this case, including Shah Rukh Khan's son and another person who's been named?
These pictures exposing absolutely bizarre happenings during the arrest of Aryan Khan and his friend Arbaz Merchant by the Narcotics Control Bureau. First, a private detective also there during raids, KP Gosavi, and he is seen taking selfies with Aryan Khan at a time he was alone with no legal counsel. And then a BJP leader, Manish Bhanushali, seen here with former Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, holding on to the other accused Arbaz Merchant during the NCB raids. Manish Bhanushali, who visited Gujarat and Delhi recently, has photos with various senior BJP leaders. Today, NCP's Nawab Malik alleged these raids were fake and a setup between the anti-drugs agency and the BJP.
पिछले एक साल से भारतीय जनता पार्टी महाराष्ट्र को, महाराष्ट्र की सरकार को, मुंबई की फिल्म इंडस्ट्री को, बॉलीवुड को बदनाम करने के लिए फर्जीवाड़ा रच रही है। मनीष भानुशाली दिल्ली में किससे मिल रहा था? मनीष भानुशाली गुजरात में किन मंत्रियों के साथ बैठा था और 3 तारीख को छापेमारी में लोगों को गिरफ्तार करता है? ये सारे सवाल के जवाब हमें लगता है कि एनसीबी को देना पड़ेगा।
As per arguments in court, no drugs were found in the possession of Aryan Khan. 6 grams of hashish was found with Arbaz Merchant. The total seizure included 10 grams of cocaine, mephedrone, charas, hydroponic weed, and MDMA tablets and cash amounting to 1,33,000, which was found on the other accused. The NCB says the accused were arrested because of WhatsApp chats on their phone that show financial transactions with peddlers. So why exactly is Aryan Khan in custody with no evidence of him having possession of drugs? And how were outsiders and BJP workers playing an active role and handling the accused? Samir Wankhede, the zonal director of the agency, is also seen giving instructions to them. The Narcotics Control Bureau responded to the allegations saying they had followed all procedures.
Individuals or politicians allowed to hold an accused.
They are free to go to court, seek justice. We will reply to the court. No issues. We have done everything as per procedure.
Caught unawares, the BJP evaded answers on Bhanushali's controversial involvement and accused the Maharashtra government of politics in an attempt to deflect the issue.
राजनीति करने के लिए कई विषय मिलेंगे, पर कम से कम ड्रग्स का विषय जो हमारे देश के नौजवानों के जीवन के साथ जुड़ा है, कम से कम इस विषय को तो वे राजनीति से दूर रखते।
But legal experts say that the NCB's explanation that they were witnesses and processes were followed is unlikely to withstand legal scrutiny. In Mumbai with camera person Rajendra Dayalkar, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Well, joining us now, Sachin Sawant of the Congress Party in Maharashtra. Sachin, thank you very much for being with us. What is the larger conspiracy here? What is your allegation? The fact that there is a BJP office bearer who was seen physically handling one of those accused in the case, what does that indicate?
Definitely, it indicates that there is a possibility of having a collusion between BJP and NCB. And the entire
why is my question?
You need to understand, we are asking basic questions to NCB and that needs to be answered. There is a set protocol for NCB for operating into a drug, whether they want to try investigating any matter. There is NDTV Act also, and there is a set procedure for that. Whether it was followed or not, how the custody was given, or basically those accused,
all that I understand. But sir, I'm just trying to understand the conspiracy angle, which is what the allegation of the NCP earlier on in the day was. That what is the conspiracy? Why would the BJP leader be holding on to Arbaz Merchant, right, as he's taken into the Narcotics Control Bureau? Why?
Even in the other case also, I think the custody of Aryan Khan also was taken by somebody, a private individual.
Yeah.
So these are the basic questions which needs to be answered by a national investigation agencies. How can they allow somebody who is not from the NCB squad to be part of the raid. You need to understand, and the kind of explanation which has been given by the NCB is not satisfactory. I mean,
So what is your allegation?
See, the basic question is to be answered: why they were part of this team, whether there was any kind of collusion, whether the entire thing was made up just to divert attention from that Mudra drug sales, which is basically a larger picture. You need to understand that, the thousands of kilos of drugs is coming into India, and the entire media is not speaking on that. And suddenly you get this particular issue diverted to some other issue. And apart from that, the entire thing seems to be a fake one only. The kind of answers which were given by the NCB today in the press also,
there were no
they
real
definitely. They have said that the Aryan Khan, was having some kind of drugs also. And in the court, they say that there was no drug, that was found with him. So these are basically, there are discrepancies in their answers as well. And apart from that, the basic question which was supposed to be answered by them, how can they allow a private individual to, take the custody of an accused? And there is a set protocol by which you cannot hand over the accused to somebody else. And apart from that,
so I understand that. So your basic point of the Congress party is that to divert attention from the larger seizures which have taken place in Mundra Port, this particular thing has been showcased and it's been done all wrong, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, apart from that, we have been seeing since last 1 year, the Bollywood is being deliberately being targeted. And apart from that, in the Sushant Singh Rajput case, and we have found BJP connection in the Goa as well as the Sandalwood drug racket as well. So definitely there is a larger picture into this, and a thorough probe will reveal the entire plot. And that is why we have demanded inquiry from the MBA government.
All right.
Because the central government will not allow to take that.
Okay. Thanks very much for sharing that perspective. I'm trying to get Vikas Singh on, the senior advocate of the Supreme Court, president of the Supreme Court Bar Association. Thanks sir very much for being with us. Is it not bizarre that a BJP office bearer would be physically handling Arbaz merchant? That's what the video clearly shows. And then there's this private detective called KP Gosavi who's got all sorts of selfies, and one of them with Shah Rukh Khan's son. Why would they be involved?
Well, I would not like to get into these specifics, of factual of who's doing what. I'd rather, like to comment, being a lawyer, on the legality of this.
Yes,
if
please,
you will
sir,
recall,
that's my question. The legality of
the,
private citizens, sir, being involved in an NCB operation.
I can't really, I'm not aware of what has happened, so I really don't know who these private citizens are. They should not be involved. But I'll tell you something more important as far as this case is concerned. Even if you'll recall, when the Riya Chakravarti matter was on, and I came on your channel and other channels as well, I said it's poetic justice, but I categorically said that there is no case for NCB made out. Because the entire narcotics law is based on recovery. And the punishment also depends on recovery. If it's a small quantity, 1 year. If it's a medium quantity, 10 years. If it's a large quantity, 20 years. So if there is no recovery, there is no offense. That is how the act has been structured. And according to me, whenever you arrest somebody without a recovery, it is a clear violation of the very intent for which this act has been enacted. So,
Mr. Singh, I'm just interrupting you, and I'll resume this interview for half a second. There's some breaking news coming in. The Supreme Court has taken suo motu cognizance of the Lakhimpur Kheri incident. There'll be a hearing tomorrow. The bench of Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana, will hear the matter. That's the big breaking news coming in at this stage. Mr. Singh, carry on with your point. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is just coming. Yes, go ahead, sir.
So the point that I was making was that when I said it is poetic justice, I meant that she should be actually accused of the offense of, attempt to murder or attempt to abetment to suicide or murder, but not on narcotics. Because narcotics, when there is no recovery, there can't be a case. So possession or even consumption, according to me, even if there is a consumption, in a sense, a person who is consuming can be said to be a victim of the crime rather than the perpetrator of the crime. And only if you are peddling in drugs, I mean, if the allegation is that you are a drug supplier.
That's a different case, much more serious.
That's a very different
case.
Sir,
so therefore, sir, if you look at what has happened on this cruise ship, it is nobody's case so far, as per what has happened in court, that Shah Rukh Khan's son had drugs on him or was consuming drugs. If there is a blood test which has taken place, nobody has spoken about the results of that. Number one. Number two, You've got some private detective doing selfies with this man in custody, Aryan Khan in custody. And thirdly, you've got a bona fide BJP office bearer physically handling Arbaz Merchant, holding his arm and taking him into the end. Is this investigation not corrupted? That is my basic question.
Well, if what you are saying is true, I am nobody to comment on exactly what has happened or who are these people. But if what you are saying is true, I totally agree with you.
Sir, he said on record, has this BJP leader, Manish Bhanushali has said, yes, I was there, so what?
So, Vishnu, if you are saying that these people were there at the time, then this completely erodes the credibility of the Narcotics Control Bureau of this investigation. And this really shows that what they are doing is just a cover-up and there is nothing, absolutely no substance in what they are doing. So that really erodes the credibility of the organization. And if the BJP, representatives are there, etc., then this according to me is shocking. And this really, then there is no point of giving up police custody.
We are playing the video out, sir, and I want to go full frame, and hopefully you'll be able to see it also. The man in red, in maroon over there, is that BJP leader, Manish Bhanushali. I'll play that video out one more time. Play it out again. There. On the left-hand side, sir, that's Manish Bhanushali in that maroon kurta or shirt, that maroon shirt. That's Manish Bhanushali. And the man he's handling is Arbaz Merchant. He's holding on to his right shoulder. He's gone into the NCB office. There is no... So this is not a fake video, doubtful video, nothing of the sort.
Vishnu, there could be one explanation that there could be a situation where the NCB is trying to carry this person, and because of the crowd, somebody from the crowd just comes in and tries to. But yeah, you're right. He can't go inside the room. He can't go inside the room. This could have happened outside of the street, but he could not have gone inside the room with him in this office of the NCB. So if he's going inside as well, then definitely you're right. There is something very, very wrong in this whole. Transaction.
And when asked specifically on this allegation, the NCB in their press conference today had no answer. They said, no, whatever we are doing is right, and we are following protocol. So there was no answer to this.
What they do, Vishnu, they selectively leak information, even of investigation, information that they want to get planted, they leak. But unfortunately, with you people around, they are not able to hide what they are doing on in the interrogation, where they have people like these going around with them openly. So this definitely completely erodes the credibility of the NCB of what exactly are they doing. And I think that whichever court is going to monitor this case or look into the charges should take cognizance of what you have shown on the video today.
All right, Mr. Singh, thank you very much for speaking to us. Completely out of time. We will take a short break.